Kia ora, this year sees the release of a full-fledged LEGO Sonic the Hedgehog wave. I never covered the news of this because I planned on just buying those sets anyway, but this is a huge deal. It is a LEGO wave that is based on a video game that is very important to me. LEGO need to start producing more gaming related sets in my personal opinion, so I will be supporting this theme. But before the release of the big wave, I wanted to take a look at one of my favourite LEGO Ideas sets, which was the Sonic the Hedgehog set, which will be retiring sometime at the end of this year. I received this for my birthday at the beginning of 2022, and it originally retailed for, I think, $110, maybe 120 NZ, but that price did end up changing. You guys remember that whole fiasco? It is now 140 NZ dollars from LEGO themselves, so it's really steep, but there is a couple of things worth mentioning, especially in relation to the brand new wave that is releasing. Because this is a fancy Ideas set, we do have a really terrific instruction manual with some nice facts about the game, a little information about the designers both from the Ideas team and the Ideas submission, and some really nice artwork that goes alongside the information provided. This is Green Hill Zone, based on the Sonic the Hedgehog video games and a game franchise that I know almost nothing about. I don't see any of the references here, I don't know the Easter eggs, so for Sonic fans I assume this is really great, but what I do see is a really great side-scroller LEGO set that looks exact in its design. The build here is basically an architecture set that's detailed around Sonic and retro video games. There was some disappointment that the set wasn't a one-to-one to the Ideas submission, which was based on Sonic Mania. It was more of a playset than a love letter display model, but I think that's okay now in hindsight because we are getting some amazing looking playsets, so it's nice to have this little architecture display piece. You build the set in order from left to right, starting at the tree and the bridge section. I love the small micro pieces that are used to get that low poly look. The details used here to get the checkered design are 1x1 pieces, and sometimes unfortunately they are stickers, but more on that a little bit later. A lives indicator here is showing us that Sonic currently sits on 3. Close by is a bridge build that is a really fun design, next to some rings for Sonic to collect. I do think that the low poly tree is my favourite part of this entire build. It uses those Nexo Knights shield pieces, and I think that's a genius idea, but I love the bright green colours as well. A very skinny tall branch also adds to that design. It is quite loose though, it's pretty flimsy moving the set around, which is unfortunate. Those rings stand up on these translucent sticks so that they look like they are floating. I should talk about this tile here now because not every detail is a sticker, thankfully. This is a printed piece of low poly pixel detailed grass. Those 3 shades of green really sell this design, and the set features multiples of these tiles. This checkpoint build features blue and red parts indicating Sonic has passed on through. It is not connected to any play feature, but you are free to swap those colours. The loop is a pretty interesting build. Anything shaping round in LEGO is always interesting, always fascinated to see how they pull it off. It's 2 parts that feel like a reversal of one another, then mirrored with elements on top to fill in those gaps. The checkered design here though is almost entirely stickers. It's a shame. I do feel like it's possible to get the same detail using bricks over stickers. It's not the end of the world though. On the top of that loop are these 2 monitors and a floating mountain. The item box monitor here is built like a really cool TV mock, and on the back of those monitors I've placed 2 of the 3 spare tiles featuring different items, more on those in a little bit. The final segment of this zone is the jumping platform, which adds a play feature to the build. There are 3 rings on the same pole here located by a hidden lever, and you push that lever which makes the jumping platform move. I really struggle with this though, I won't lie. I'm not confident if it's me or if it's the play feature. For extras before we leave, there is a nice plant build that uses the nice Mario part for some sharp ferns. It's nice to have 2 brick built low poly plants. On the back is a leaderboard with the 3 top scorers being the Ideas submission designer and the Ideas team designers. This is a look at the stickers and prints of the terrain area for the build, not including anything from Robotnik's vehicle. The monitor can have different pickup designs to represent invincibility, shield, power sneakers, super ring, and extra lives. This is Sonic, who is brand new for this set. He is a remake of the LEGO Dimension Sonic figure, which was one of my favorites at the time of release, but I cannot look at him the same way anymore. This one does everything better than the original. Sonic uses a beige coloring with some bright blues, makes him look a lot more like a cartoon, which is great. He has some shoe details, so these could be useful for future mock characters. His quills are molded into his head, but he also has quill prints on his back. Each bag included a Chaos Emerald, and Sonic has his own little display stand, which happens to fit very snugly on the bridge build. I'm not sure if that's intentional or not. He also stands with a ring, which is that life preserver piece, a part that I don't think works at all to represent the Sonic rings. Should have mentioned that earlier with those other rings in the set. I really like special minifigure display stands for sets, and this one goes further than most because while it lacks a sticker plaque with some facts and information like the UCS ones, instead we do have in-game references, a much better trade-off. Comparing him to his past self is like night and day, only a few years difference mind you, but still a lot can change in those few years. His face print is mirrored, which I think is really fascinating. It's on the other side now. His mouth is a lot bigger and he no longer has those big green eyes, just plain black. You can see visually just how much better those colors are on the new figure. His chest features a bare patch that is a perfect circle as opposed to the 2016's version that was kind of like a rectangular shaping. He has more details in his shoe printing now and his quills are much bigger. Fantastic improvement all around. Sonic is the only minifigure of the set. The rest of the characters here are brick-built additions. I am a LEGO Mario fan, so I really like brick-built character designs, especially if they're proportioned like this. So for that, Crabmeat is really great. I know nothing about this character, but the reference material seems pretty spot on. His claws can be moved up and down, and he uses the gun piece as legs, but he stands on some clear bricks, so it kind of looks like those guns do function for his legs. Motobot is another person I know next to nothing about. Seems pretty cool though, also has some articulation and some movements, includes a stickered face print, which is immediately for me a no, but this does mean that you can swap the expressions over, which I think is nice. I really like the shaping involved with this character as well. This brings us to the elephant in the room, which was Robotnik, but first his Eggmobile. He is seen throughout all of the games using all kinds of various vehicles. The new wave gives us 2 special vehicles actually, which is very exciting. I really love this build. It might be one of the best additional vehicle builds in a set for me. I think that the shaping is really accurate. I love how smooth it is. I appreciate how easy it is to have a strange figure like him to fit inside, and the stand is included so it does appear like it's flying. There's a large amount of flying vehicles in LEGO sets with no ability to display them in flight, so this is a huge bonus. Robotnik though is such a funny character design. I think that the Dr. Eggman build is actually a really good one mostly. The round shaping works really well here. I love the big fig hands that are used on him because I don't think he should be a big fig or a minifig, but he should be some weird monstrous in-between creation. His arms can rotate out, but there's no other movements there, which is a shame, but where the design does fall apart, yeah, it's the face. The printed dome piece for glasses looks really cool, but the mouth just being that pink part and the mustache pieces, it does not work. Still though, I think this is one of LEGO's best ever efforts. Now that there's a new Sonic wave releasing, I'm pleased to have this set. I'm pleased to see that this set remains solely in its design, which is very akin to how LEGO Minecraft came to be. It also looks as though the playsets feature some newer elements and some other exclusive parts or some remakes, so this one does get to continue having its own special identity. This seems like the special collector's set for the Sonic Wave. If you enjoyed this review, liking and subscribing helps to support the channel. Ka kite ano. Thank you very much.